It has been an interesting April. I spent some time in prayer this morning, and as I did, I thanked our Father for each of your hearts as you have served newcomer families in your role with the Welcome Network. You may be a donor, a volunteer, a staff member, a board member, or a prayer partner. And as I consider the adaptations that we've each had to make in our daily lives, I can't help but compare our situation to those traumatic events faced by our asylum-seeking and refugee families. And I find myself very thankful for shelter, for grocery stores, for stability, and even the yelling and thumping of children as they take a break from their studies. I simply want to remind us all that war and persecution and violence and intimidation, none of those have ceased simply because of COVID-19. I am convinced that in the aftermath of this time of quarantine, the fear climate that we've seen cultivated by all sides of this crisis will create additional challenges for immigrants and refugees. Fear will seep into our other policy decisions, as we've already seen happen in our polarized country over the last decade or more. This happened even recently by our president's decision today to temporarily halt all immigration into our country. I believe that for many who don't follow the Lord, this coronavirus crisis will spark even more division. However, I'm also convinced that God is using this time to do something big in His kingdom through His people and His church body. We have seen the sproutlings of this, and it is deeply encouraging. About 8 months ago, the father of one of our host families, an American family who graciously opened their home for more than 2 months to an asylum-seeking family fleeing political persecution from the Democratic Republic of Congo, this father began dreaming of a home that could be used to welcome and assist multiple families of asylum seekers at the same time. And it took me a while to warm to this idea, I'll admit, because my own fears had to first be dealt with. I want to give you some very encouraging news. Even in the middle of these strange times, 2 churches have committed to provide $110,000 of the $175,000 we've budgeted as the need for this welcome home for the first 12 months. We've identified the home we're seeking to purchase in Lansing, Illinois, and we have a good working relationship with the current owners. We even have a family or 2 that would be good potential inaugural newcomer tenants. We're in a conversation with a handful of other churches, and we feel that God is leading us that at least 5 churches, in other words, at least 3 more churches, are being called to participate as a founding fellowship in this kingdom partnership. At the same time, I don't want to deny individuals or families the opportunity to be part of this in a founding way. It's time to invite us all into something. The Welcome Network is not primarily a nonprofit organization. It is, most foundationally, simply a slightly crazy, prophetic group of people trusting Jesus to create pockets of passionate, purposeful, supernatural belonging for those who have lost belonging due to the trauma of war, violence, displacement, and persecution. And in that very same act of us trusting Jesus, we find belonging as individuals and churches as well. We find our kingdom belonging as we serve and help others find their belonging. It's a beautiful thing to serve Jesus. So I want to invite us to consider being part of this welcome home. This is an investment, but one where you won't have to watch Wall Street for your gains or losses. This investment will pay off in the lives of the families we place in this home, and in the lives of the volunteers who see their kingdom potential differently after they welcome the stranger in various ways, and in the smile of Jesus as we pour a jar of perfumed oil at His feet. Jenny and I and our family have decided to commit financially to this home and its first year of operations, keeping the lights on, helping families plan for their futures, helping them with their meals, paying a welcome director. We want to invite you into that same commitment. We aren't doing this because we should. Honestly, we're doing this because we feel we only get a certain number of chances in this lifetime to be part of something like this in such a humbling, pioneering, spirit-filled way. If God's calling you to do this, I invite you to let your heart be the same. Don't let the amount be a factor. We are encouraging you to consider an immediate gift of $2,500 or a monthly gift of $209 a month for the next 12 months. If God's giving you a larger number, awesome. If you can't commit to that amount but you want to give, that's also awesome. Just reach out to me if you need help with the logistics of giving. In the meantime, please pray and make a decision about this few times in a lifetime kind of opportunity to be part of something the Lord is doing in our backyard. As always, I stand with you in welcoming newcomers with belonging, love, and the gospel. Thank you for being part of the Welcome Network.